Hello, good morning. My name is Maria Service. I'm a past life healer, subconscious healer for type A driven women ready to go deep into their intuitive portal. And actually, speaking of portals, if you have been curious about my work, about working with me, about going deeper into getting to know your own intuition, and you're a female leader, visionary, change maker, you're like, yes, Maria, I've been hearing you talk about the woo. I'd love to go deeper into the woo. I want to quick invite you before I invite up our guest, Carly Ely. But first, be sure to join us inside Ascend. Ascend is a 4-day virtual experience inside Telegram, but really Ascend is like a portal. It's actually a space for women who want to learn how do I go deeper into really like uncapping and opening up and awakening my intuitive channel. So I'm really excited because as busy on the go women, you can hop into Ascend. And there's going to be some Telegram trainings. The pre-party has already started inside Telegram, but then we will also do a live call together next week, next Tuesday, where we're going to heal and clear some of the blocks around your third eye. So I'm really excited for that. Feel free to comment Ascend below. And I'm going to invite up our guest, Carly Ely. She has been through the program Higher Self Awakening, my intuition mastery program. And what I'm most excited about is we're going to talk about how, oh, there we are. Yay, it worked. How we can infuse intuition, spirituality into business, into life, into parenting, motherhood, all the things. So, hey, Carly, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Am
can.
I muffly or am I okay?
Talk
Muffly.
again.
Do I sound okay?
Yes, you sound good.
Okay, cool.
Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm so glad to have you on today.
Yeah, me too. This is awesome. Yay.
Oh. Okay, Carly, I did not do like your formal intro. So would you mind sharing for those that are hopping on the call before we dive into our woo,
hmm
sharing a little bit more just about yourself? What do you do? Where are you at in the world? What's your business? Share a little more.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. I have two little ones, a 4 and a 6-year-old, and I'm a conscious motherhood coach. Essentially, what I do is I really help moms heal generational trauma, the things that are coming up for them now that they're a mom, like all those triggers and things, and I help them to look at that and to heal it so that they can just feel more emotionally resilient, pass that on to their kids.
Okay, Carly, I'm so excited for this conversation just because like yeah, it's like honestly why I said yes and why I went deeper into my own spirituality journey was because my own triggers were coming up with my son when he was like around that 3, 4 age, becoming like a little loud human.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go insane. And so I like that was my calling of why I went deeper into spirituality in the first place. But okay, aside from like the powerhouse work that you're doing here on this planet, I'm also curious, how did you end up in kind of like this spirituality intuition realm? Like what was kind of your early stirring of like why you're like, I'm curious, I want to learn more. And especially like if you don't mind, Carly, speaking to like this week I've been talking a lot about duality of
Yeah.
like how I think a lot of us grew up thinking like, well, I gotta be this, I'm the smart one, I'm the hard worker, like I'm not maybe the intuitive one. So like, I don't know, kind of how you landed into spirituality, but maybe even a little bit about how your background. Have you always been spiritual?
Yeah, no, this is such a good conversation. I would say, and I say this all the time, like me 5 years ago or 6 years ago or whatever, like would not recognize myself now. I'd be like, what are you talking about? You're insane. So I grew up very, like, I think we've talked about this so many times, but I grew up in a very academic type of like setting. So
Yes.
it was a big deal to go to college and to like get advanced degrees. And I was praised for that. That was like, I was good at kind of like that whole thing.
Like, wow, she's
And
so
so
smart. She's so brilliant. Like,
Yes,
you're like, okay,
yes.
yeah,
And
I'm
just like, oh,
smart.
you're getting all A's and that's what we're proud of you for.
Yeah.
And so I kind of ran with that and ended up as a school psychologist. So I did that for, I guess it was about 10 years. I just recently left that in January. But that was the goal. Like I did all the right things. Like I checked all the boxes. got all the gold stars. And then I would say, to answer your kind of question about like what got me into spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was like kind of a double pronged thing of at the same time that I had little kids, I also decided I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I entered entrepreneurship and I had I guess it was, my daughter was like 10 months old when I started my first business. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and so it was a lot. And at the same time, I was also diagnosed with ADHD, like late diagnosed ADHD and autism. So like it was just a lot of things happening that made
Yep.
me kind of
Yep.
like
Was it
have to
like your
reflect.
30s or like 28,
I was
27 ish?
no, I was like 33 when I got
30s.
like
Okay.
evaluated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
30s. Okay. Yep. Same. I didn't get diagnosed
Oh,
until I
really?
was 32. Yeah. Yep. Or
Oh, wow.
30, 32, like TOO. Sorry, not 32. But
30 also.
anyways.
Yeah. Got you. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a real thing. Like so
Yes.
many of us
We had
have.
this conversation too, like neurodivergent brains, man. Like, I don't know. I just think like there's a lot of talk about how like, oh, like that's bad, like something's wrong with you, but it's like actually you're brilliant and we just need to like pull that out.
Yes, 100%. It's just like like when I can focus on something that I'm interested in, like it's to the
You're
races and just
down the
about like
rabbit hole.
it's like a filtering problem kind of problem like where like I can't so with the way this relates with kids is like I couldn't filter out like what was important and urgent and needed to happen because kids are just like walking stream of consciousness like blah everywhere.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know how to process this. Like I can give
Yes.
me like a class to take and I can process that, but this is different.
Yep.
And it was the same with business. So I'd say what happened was I kind of wanted to take that same strategy that I'd used my whole life of like learn as much as you can, get really good at it,
Yes.
and I wanted to try to apply that to parenting and business, and
Same.
that just
Ditto.
does
Yep. Like,
not
where's
work.
the manual? Where's the book? Like, I can, like, somebody just give me the manual and the book and I can, like, figure this out, I think.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. I was like, yeah, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. It's fine. But there's no one
Yes.
to tell you what to do really with either thing. At least people have opinions, but ultimately you have to go within.
Yes. You have
And so
to learn how to
that's kind of
follow
what.
your intuitive nudge. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went down a lot of different like paths to kind of try to explore that. I met you through our mentor James Wedmore. So like in his world, he combined like I got into it because he was like, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, this guy knows what he's doing. But then he like
Yes.
snuck in like the like woo, and I was like, wait a second, wait a second.
Yes.
This is the point? Oh, okay. It took me like 2 years of that to like finally get it. That like
Yep.
it all comes down to the inner work.
Well, and I love how like he sneaks it in because to me personally too, it's almost like talking to a lot of us who it's like we're logic driven, we're strategy, like give me the blueprint, dude. And he literally like was like, I have a manual, I have the Lego manual of the business, and I'm like, I need the Lego manual of the business, and you need the Lego manual of the business. So like this is a weird, also random promotion to James. Like he is running his Rise of the Digital CEO. I'm not an affiliate, but I'm just saying if you're looking for the Lego manual, like
Yeah.
yes, certainly to get foundation in place, right? Like that was so helpful. But
Yeah.
also I'm like, oh God, I'm not going to really get my next offer, my next thing. Like, I don't know, like on a hot seat coaching call, like I actually need to like spend some time with myself and
Right.
like go inward. So it sounds like it's the two major things like parenting and entrepreneurship got you
Yes.
curious about spirituality.
Got me curious. I would say like in like this like surface level, like, ooh, this is fun. I mean, I think a lot of us, like, I don't know about you, but like neurodivergent especially, like I was always a little weird, right? So like I like to pretend to be a witch at recess time instead of playing soccer or
Yes.
whatever. Like so that's kind of how I think it was able to like get in was like, ooh, this is intriguing. And then the actual like full on ego every like understanding of what's going on and like ego death whatever you want to call it, that stuff started to like drop in, and
Yeah.
just kind of like shake away a lot of like just the residue and like the layers of like walls and stuff that I built up by being so in my logical brain for so long.
I want to go back to Carly because you point on something really important. We talk about, and you and I both like we could go to
we could just talk about this for years. But anyways, this conditioning, these beliefs though, that as smart girls, right, we get praise, we get claps, we get good jobs for straight A's, for being really smart, for figuring things out. Like, wow, she really figured that out. Like, she doesn't really need parentifying, or actually, it's the opposite. She does. She is parentified because she's so brilliant and smart.
Mature.
However, we also learned that like pretending to be a witch is weird, right? Or like using your spidey senses, that you just know things and you can read the room so fast. Like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, how does she do that? So I also just think like early on as little girls, we start getting this subtle messaging that, oh, like my intuition, maybe that's weird. Maybe I don't want to lean into that. Like, oh, but I get a lot of praise for being smart, the good girl, the girl who has it all together and works really hard. And so that's honestly one of the blocks that we have to like begin overcoming inside Higher Self Awakening, my intuition mastery program, which is like, your intuition is not weird. It's your freaking superpower. But for so
Yeah.
long, we've been told like, that's weird.
Yes, and I think too, like for me, I had this, again, it comes in layers. Like it's not like I snap my fingers
Oh,
and I'm like,
yay.
oh, it's all gone now.
Yes.
But as I start to like become aware of it, and your program helped me so much with that, is like,
Yes.
and you need to hear it a few different times in a few different ways, and have different people kind of like speak it to your brain and your brain's language. Like I remember the time that you broke it down, and I'd heard it. It's not like I hadn't heard some of the stuff before, but like
Yeah.
the way you broke it down, where you were like, listen, your imagination is like is valid,
Yes.
basically. Like
Yes.
it is. It's And I thought this to myself too, of like, there's an analytical wedge of, well, I'm just making this shit up, right? Like when you go to start a business or you go to do anything in life that's not out of a book or hasn't been taught,
Yep.
you're like, oh, I'm just making this up. This isn't valid. And that's the analytical, evidence, research based brain coming in.
Yes.
And like the thing that had to come through for me was like, everything is made up. Like literally, there wouldn't be anything in the world if some schmo hadn't been walking along
Channeled
and
it.
been like,
Hadn't channeled it.
yes. Like we are literally like living in a world of people's creation that came from their imagination out of nowhere. And so with that understanding, I was like, okay, like I can start to trust myself a little bit more with things that come through, and not need to go make sure that I have like a source to back it up,
Yes.
if that makes
Yes.
sense. Yeah.
Because if not you, Carly, right? Like your soul literally came, like we're gonna go esoteric here already. Like, so if you're
Go.
watching and you're just like, I didn't know where we were getting into, but like it's like your soul incarnated here for that, Carly, right? It's like, oh,
Yes.
my soul incarnated here so that I can channel through XYZ, so that I can be the channel to helping more moms heal generational trauma. Like, of course, there's nobody who's technically done it exactly like you before, because it was meant to be channeled forth by you. This is a bit of a side tangent. So when two neurodivergent brains get together, this is how it's going to be.
That's what
But
happened.
Carly, have you seen the documentary Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No,
Or, I maybe said his
I've
name
heard good
wrong.
things. I've heard good things. I have not though.
Okay, you should check it out. However, though, I think it's like not on a full streaming platform, so you have to like buy a season on something. Like they get you. But what I want to say about it is, it traverses back in time. It talks about cosmos. Obviously, there's like, astrology is science. Like it's real, right? Or we say it's real. But it goes back and talks about like early people who, like, whoever the guy is. I'm really bad with names, but like whoever invented the light bulb, whoever invented and discovered the gravitational law of gravity or whatever, right? Like it goes back. But it kind of also talks about their story, about how at first people thought they were crazy because everybody thought the earth was flat. But this dude, like, right? I'm going to say he, like, channeled a message, like, no, the earth is round. And sure, he had to, like, prove it to society, like, no, it's really round.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, it came to him first as this channeled idea that everybody thought, like, this guy's crazy, the earth's flat, and it's like, oh, no, actually it is round. I don't know, that's kind of a random example, but it's just like he had to channel that, even though everybody thought he was crazy at first.
Right. Well, and that's the thing that comes up for me is like, imagine if that guy couldn't get out of his own way enough to be like, no, actually it is. You know what I mean? Like, I believe it. I know it's true. And it is. Just, but, if he couldn't get that through his own mind and be able to just like be so sure about himself and what was happening, then we would all still think the world is flat, maybe. I'm sure somebody else would have come along who was more sure, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So now we're gonna combine a little bit. Like, Carly, how did you know How did you start to know, especially like, you've been on your spiritual journey, but you're also acknowledging like you still have an ego. We still have this mind who like questions, analyzes. Um, how did you know that you were here on this planet then to help moms? Like
Yeah.
why did that feel part of your calling? Because honestly, like think about it. For most people, we're just moms. We're just trying to get through our house, like get our house in order. What made you feel called of like, no, like I'm learning some tools and I want to share this with the world?
I think there was a few things, honestly, like spiritually wise. I had signs dropping out of the sky for me. Like I had a different business before where I was still helping moms, but I was a sleep consultant. So it was much more like I can tell you what to do in these steps in this order. And it
Do
felt
this.
very comfortable for me to do that. And then that kind of just didn't feel in alignment anymore with the way that the earth is moving and like we are as a collective. Like it just didn't feel in alignment anymore. Not that like sleep training's bad, like sleep training's fine, whatever, you
But
know.
you
It
wanted
also just
to go
wasn't
deeper.
I wanted to go deeper. That's right. It wasn't part of my story anymore. It wasn't in the forefront. I realized that like actually no, the struggles that I was having went deeper than just like lack of sleep, which is a whole
Yes.
it is very hard with lack of sleep. But beyond that, once they were sleeping, my kids, like I was still like something's off with me. So it really was born out of my own necessity, honestly, at
Ah,
first.
yep.
And then what happened was sort of, I kept, it's almost like I had an idea and I was given the idea and the like vision of what I needed to do and my mission before I was ready or like healed enough or feeling like really confident. Like even today, I'm not walking around being like, I'm the best mom ever. You should listen to everything I say. Like I know it all. Like I'm literally not that. But it just felt like this calling. Like I was getting signs, like if you believe in animal signs, like animal medicine, like I remember the one day I was walking when I was starting to this idea was like starting to be born of like what I should be doing next. And I was walking in the woods and I came upon this like mom and baby deer. And I was like, that's awesome. Like they were just right in front of me, like right there, did not move. We just
Oh,
like stared at each other for like 2 minutes. And it was, I looked it up because I'm like, I still do that. I'm like, what does this mean?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And deer are like a very like mother energy
Mm.
symbol. And it was with its baby. So the universe was like, just in case you don't get it, like there's a baby here. Um, and so I'd say like that's kind of how it came into be was just I kept kind of being like, no, I don't think I want to do this. What else can I do? What else can I do? Because it's not like I didn't choose this. Do you know what I mean? Like I mean I did, I guess, but like ego me did not.
Right.
And
So
so I'm like,
old
what
Carly
else?
did though.
Yeah. And so I'm like, really? This is it? And so it's literally taken me, like, I would say until like very recently to be like, no, this is it. Like you have to get your ego to be on board. And it still comes in of like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just got mad at your kids today. Like, you're not the best mom. Who are you to blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I do know that like I have evidence that I have the kind of like codes like delivered to me to give, and so I have to do that to fulfill what I'm here to do. So
Yes. Yes. Well, and okay, you pointed out so many good things, but I do want to point out like how I think you and I both know as a coach and a healer, we go into this work not because, oh, I'm the epitome of it all. I'm perfect. Listen to everything I say. I actually feel like you and I both know like we're a channel. We're here to help people heal but they can listen to their own inner wisdom because like we're moving out of that reality where it's like there's one expert, she's got the way, follow her parenting expert advice or follow her healing expert advice or whatever it is. It's actually like no, you just like need to heal and get out of your own way so that you can listen to your own inner wisdom because every mom has their own inner wisdom, but we need to heal first. And I know that's like something that you prioritize in your programs. And that's what I focus on inside Higher Self Awakening is like, we got to heal.
yeah, that's how I feel like everything else is kind of like extra after that, you know, like all the fun tools and like the things that we can do and work with are amazing and helpful and like with parenting specifically just because that's my thing is like
Yeah.
I don't like calling myself a parenting coach because like to your point I believe that intuitively we have all the answers that we need to parent however we are going to parent but in order to access that intuition we need to clear out what's in the way? Like, what are the triggers telling us? What can we learn from all of our triggers and all of the things coming up? And like once that's out of the
Yep.
way, or once you have a path at least to like follow, all
Yep.
of the answers of how to, what parenting strategies or whatever you want to do is just going to happen naturally. And you don't have to have a
Yeah.
script or, have anything nailed down and written on the wall of these are what I'm doing.
Yes. Yes. I mean, like, there's a reason why. I mean, like, for example, when I was like trying to get my son to, I mean, people call it sleep train, right? But just like get him to like support longer sleep in his room and things like that. Like, sure, I kind of like mixed together some of what the experts were saying, like, oh, okay, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But also, like, I added all the vibes in his room. And at the time, I really didn't even know that I was kind of tapping into like feng shui, spirituality stuff. But it was like, oh, I'm going to get a diffuser that he likes. And we're going to get like some little spirit animals and the stuffy that he prefers. And yes, we use a fan because like it's just calming for him.
It's great.
And somehow randomly I started putting up infinity signs because my son has like a really strong connection to the number 8. He came in on 8s. Like there's all these 8s. I put like infinity signs in the 4 corners of his room. I mean, no, it didn't make sense, but also like he sleeps beautifully in his room, like that was just following intuition. I wasn't going to read it in a book.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, like you literally know your kid more than any expert could ever tell you. So like even with sleep train, like all the things, there's going to be things that work for some people and there's going to be things that work for other people, and like there are certain things that are like just a hard no, right? Like for
Right,
safety.
of course.
Like outside of like
Absolutely.
safety, like
Yes.
but outside of that, you are going to find like the perfect conglomeration of tools and strategies that are going to fit your child the best. And so I feel like
Agreed.
it's like that with everything. It's like that with your intuition too. Like I can come to you and
Yes.
say, "Hey, I really want help with this," which I did. It was
Yes.
amazing. And at the end of the day, like I've taken what your program, everything you taught, and I've found the things that connect with me the most, and I
Yeah.
use those tools, and I found like my own kind of perfect prescription
Yeah.
for how to access it. Yeah.
Yes. So Carly, like having been through higher self awakening, knowing that, because like my biggest thing is like telling people it's not a course. I mean I kind of call it a program, but it's also not really just learning modules. It's a healing portal, like because you have to clear all the beliefs. So what did you notice before joining? And especially because I know you were kind of like, what the hell am I getting into? But like, I'm kind of trusting this human. And we've said, like, I think we've known each other before. I know that we've known each other before, like we had a soul contract together. But you said yes. And like, yeah, what was that experience of being inside the healing container, especially for women who are like, maybe they haven't done the deep quantum healing? What was that like for you?
I would say, so I came in kind of like, I wouldn't say I was a complete newbie. I definitely had, and I
Right.
have my own modalities that I use that are a little bit, kind of get into like certain hypnotic
Yeah.
states and things, and I can access my, past and future and all these things. I had some background, I'll just say that.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't think that was necessary, to be perfectly honest. Like, I think if I had literally just met you and been like, I don't know anything, and come in, it would have been the same, if not better. But I will say this. So I would say your program is unlike anything. And I've done a lot of stuff, a lot of programs, a lot of things. I'm a little bit of a program.
So growth junkies, right?
Yeah.
Same.
So I've done a lot of stuff, and yours is unlike any I've ever done. I would say if it's not a course in any capacity. It's really, I mean, it's a course on yourself. It's a course
Right.
on like life, but it's not like you said, I did not spend time like writing notes and modules and sitting down. I didn't have to do that.
No.
I essentially just had to show up, and Maria just like healed me.
Put you into a portal
Took me
and
into the
invited your
is so
guides
crazy
in.
cool. Brought my guides in, and I would say like, yeah, I mean, just the sense of like trust, I would say, and that's what I'd been asking for. I'd sort of been like almost praying for more trust in myself, in the universe, and that's really what I feel like I got. Like I feel like it's like hard to even describe, I would say, but
Can I
yeah,
ask
I just feel
what was it like? Like, thank you. Because, yeah, so we do the healings inside Higher Self Awakening are in the Akashic Records. So that's also why, like, I feel so deeply confident of what channels through because it's not me. I'm not doing the healing. Truly, like, we're opening up the Akashic Records, which is someone's energetic blueprint. We're calling in the high vibrational beings, and they are delivering the healings, and I just get to channel through whatever comes through, which is my deepest honor. And so, like, Carly, for example, like, we got to visit different things. That's the thing about higher self awakening, is so many women were not tapping into our gifts because of, I mean, I have a free witch wound healing, but like, maybe you were a witch in a past timeline, and so thus you were like hunted or persecuted for being psychic and intuitive. But we also go back to like times even in this lifetime or others where, yeah, using your psychic intuitive gifts was unsafe, dangerous. We want to heal that so that you can deeply tap into your gifts. What was it like for you, like, doing some of these past life journeys? Because again, you've actually used like different time techniques on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that feel, and what were some of the shifts you noticed afterwards?
I would say I just felt like I went deeper and more. It was just a deeper level
Mm-hmm.
of travel, I guess, in a way. Like I feel like my analytical mind is very on. You know, we're working on it, but like, it's there. And
Yep.
so, however it worked, don't really know. My analytical mind was able to be like, okay, we'll accept this. And so I feel like it's very like analytical mind friendly the way that you did it,
Yes.
because it's not asking too much of like my analytical mind to be like, wait a second, this seems weird. Like, it's like, no, just relax and we're just going to do a thing. And I would come out and I would feel well, there was a lot of different things. I mean, there
Yeah.
was times when I felt like I was like purging, like full on just like emotional
Yes.
purging. There were times when I would see clearly like images and visions. And I think what I would say is that, again, going back to the very beginning where we talked about just like trusting my imagination for like, things just would come up and it was like, oh, that's a past life. Like, okay. And I think it was
Yes.
just really helpful to have a guide who was like able to see it, know it, and like interpret it and help me with that, because otherwise I would have just been like, no, like, it would be way too easy to be like, that's just me making that up.
Yes.
But to have
Yes.
you there of like, no, I saw it too, and this is what went down. And then like too, when you were talking, I was thinking about the idea that like, what was I gonna say? Crap, it went away.
Oh,
Anyway,
I have that.
but yeah,
I do that too.
that's what I would say is like, it was like having someone there that knew. Oh, what I was gonna say is, it was like, even when we were beyond the healings and it was just like accessing my guides and my
Yes.
intuition and tapping into that, you would channel for, you know, my guides to help interpret what they were telling me. And it was like I didn't really need it at a certain point, because it would just line up with whatever I would be like, yes, that's what I was thinking. You
Yes.
know what I mean? But it was just, it's helpful, I think, really, really, really helpful and imperative for someone like me to have that in the beginning of like, that
Yes.
backup of like, yes, what your intuition is telling you is spot on, go with that.
Yes. Yes. And so many women, like, that's what I love about the beauty of the container. So it's like it was, I think when you went through it, it was a 10-week portal. It's now a 12-week portal, because I'm always kind
Yeah.
of tweaking and wanting it to like support the women who are in it. But yeah, I noticed how at the beginning of the container, obviously women just need more affirmation, more validation, because higher self awakening is this beautiful container where women who for so long have kind of been turned to like turn off your intuition, not lean into it. You're now getting to practice like deeply, like listening to it, using it, and I can affirm what's coming through for you or not just because I'm tapping into the records. And that's so helpful for the ego early on, because the ego's like, dang, this thing's good. Like, gosh, her soul self, it's spot on.
Yes.
So like, I want to point out too that like uniquely in higher self awakening, because I'm type A logic minded. I mean, I spent 30 plus years of my life as that. It's a unique container where, yes, we do the healing. We help your ego like get out of the driver's seat, as I call it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's a program where I'm not trained in IFS. And Carly, I don't know if you are, but like IFS is an internal family systems. I've had it done to me in therapy or whatever. I've learned about it. I'm not certified, but I like pulling different pieces from that. And the biggest thing that we use inside Higher Self Awakening is that like you don't I mean, sure, people will say ego death, but like your ego doesn't actually have to die. Your ego is still going to be in you. You're human. And so we work on like checking in with your part. right? How's your inner child doing today? How's the ego doing? How's the ego doing with all these shifts and changes? And we really make them a part of the experience. And I found that that really helps everybody get on board with the soul self, your higher self, you know, getting into the driver's seat, because everybody needs to kind of be part of the journey. Yeah.
Exactly. No, and I still use that every single day, like pretty much every day. Because my ego still comes in strong, and I look at it now as like, it's really just doing a really good job. Like it's just really
She's
trying to,
so loving, so
yeah.
protective of you.
It took,
Yeah.
she's been there for 35 years, and really it's only been about a year of me like being aware and like conscious of that's a part of me and not actually like my soul. And so now it's like, okay, like, I'll notice it stronger and louder sometimes. And it's usually when I'm doing or getting ready to do something that's just like fully not, I have no experience. It's uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and uncomfortable doesn't mean I'm gonna die, and I just have to let them know that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
100%. So Carly, anybody who's on the fence about maybe joining Higher Self Waiting, the doors open next week. I'm super excited because this is going to be the final summer cohort. And so I'm like, there's going to be 12 souls. So I'm so excited to invite in, but like anybody who might be curious, what would you say about the program? That like, it's like, yeah, no, this works, or whatever you would say about it.
I would say if you're like at feeling like you're at sort of like an impasse, or like you've hit a wall in your own journey of like you want to know more but you feel like you're kind of stuck and need a guide, that this is the program for you. And I would say when you join, like if you do, what I think you should, and if you do, just know, like, just trust Maria. Just please, she's literally like one of the most beautiful souls and has your best interest at heart and like just wants to serve. And yeah, I just think it's going to be amazing. And I'm really excited for anybody that's thinking about it and is going to join.
Thank you, Carly. And I also want to say, Carly, how can people find you? How can they work with you? Because it's truly like this work that we come here as parents. I mean, obviously, like we often think about like ourselves as business owners and like entrepreneurs, and we have this deep soul mission and purpose to like, whatever, help the planet, help serve the people. But also it's like we also came here with contracts with our little people, and like not passing down some of the trauma that we've been passed down, or just some of the old outdated practices, and treating children as these beautiful soul beings. So how can women who are wanting to go deeper and maybe healing this generational trauma, healing some of their triggers, how can they find you? How can they work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at I am Carly Ely. It's spelled
Oh
just
my
like
God.
that.
Is it
And I
Ely?
have
Because I literally pronounce it Carly Eli. So first of all, I'm so sorry.
Everyone does. It's my married name. I did in my head for the longest time. Like when I would look at my own name, I definitely would read it that way. So I get
Sorry
it.
about that.
It's all good. Yeah, it's Ely, and I have a couple different options. Working with me like closely in a one-to-one container is an option. I have some openings for that coming up,
Love
and
it.
then I also have a like self-paced program with a community feature as well, so that you still get that like touch point and that coaching and that community. So yeah,
I
anybody that wants to come in not only to heal generational trauma, but to like actually, if you're feeling like you're at a place where you're like, I just am not enjoying this as much as I hoped, as I envisioned before I had kids, it's like really about both ends. It's about being able to handle the full emotions of motherhood in general, good and, the things that need healing. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And having a community is so important, because I think motherhood can feel lonely. And you know how like there's support group for, I don't know. I don't mean to get into this, but I mean, you know how there's support groups for like if someone has a child who's disabled, or maybe a child who's going through cancer, and these things are all atrocious. I don't mean to be like, oh, why do they get something? But I just mean like there's
Yeah.
support groups for that. But sometimes if you kind of feel like, oh, I think I just have like a normal kid, but like they're hard, or they're maybe neurodivergent like me, and I want some help and I need some support. And where's like my motherhood crew? Like we're meant to do things in community. And I love Carly because she is beautiful at just bringing together community, and she's like brilliant. She's got a brilliant mind. She's got a brilliant heart. She's diving into the soul and woo. So I know her and I have talked about some fun collaborations coming up perhaps. So definitely get into her world if you are wanting to just be a more resilient mother, parent, and you're looking for community and connection. Go check her out.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Carly. I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on live with me, and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. All right. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.